Thought we played really well.
What, in your eyes, what's the key matchup?
There's so many of them. I think that, from a Trey Burke is a key guy, obviously, I think he's the best point guard in the country. So containing him is going to be a big factor in the game. I think Michigan is an underrated transition team. They're very efficient when they get out and run. They don't run as much as some other teams. If you look at sort of their KenPom.com stats, they're not up there in pace of play, but when they run, they run. Their lanes get filled fast. They've got really speedy guys on the wings, and Burke makes it go. He gets it across half court in a dribble or two, and then really makes good decisions. And I think the key is, and it's easy to say, but it's hard to do, is can you corral him in transition, slow him down? So if you can stay in front of him and not get on the side of him where he's got an angle. Once he's got an angle, it's over. He's gonna find it. He's gonna score. And so corralling him and then limiting. That's a very good offensive rebounding team as well. Their wings offensive rebound, McGarry, Morgan, if he's healthy. So keeping him off the offensive glass, I think, is really important too. They're excellent as a half-court offensive team, but if you limit them in transition and corral Burke and slow him down a little bit, which, as I said, easier said than done. It's a great plan. It's kind of like Mike Tyson used to say, everybody's got a plan until they get hit. But he's a great college guard. Tom Crean has a number of options that he can use. They can switch, and there'll be times with the ball screens that they use when we might have to. And I think you'd feel pretty comfortable having Oladipo on him. There are times I'm sure that Will Sheehy will be on him. And you can even have situations where if you've got Watford out there, you wind up switching for a time with a bigger guy on him. There are going to be a number of situations you're going to have where you're going to have to make that call on how you guard their ball screen actions. They're very good offensively. They don't. I think one of the things that's interesting about Michigan is their big guys. Their big guys don't shoot a lot of free throws, and they're not perimeter shooters. So, can you, if you choose, use your 5-man to help? And does that open up? Does that cause problems if you do that? Because Burke is a good passer, a really good passer. One of the best parts of this game, of the many great parts of it, is that you've got both teams have 5 guys on the floor at all times that can score. And that's not true of a lot of teams, and it allows both coaches to be really creative. And that's why these two teams not only are so efficient offensively, but they both have a number of weapons, and both these teams have a number of guys that can get 20 or more on you, and that makes them really hard to guard. The best defenses don't have to help as much because they contain well. And I think Indiana is a much improved. They're a good defensive team. They're much improved. And I think probably of the two teams, if you said, okay, which is the better defensive team, I would probably pick Indiana as the better defensive team. Now, Oladipo is a big part of that, but the other big part of it is Yogi Ferrell's a really good defender. I mean, he's a really good defender. Stays in front of the ball, and he does a really good job of reassuming pressure. He's kind of like a defensive back. Like he can move backward, and then he can also reassume it, which not all guards do. And then Zeller is about as good a help defender for a big guy as you're ever going to find. He's very alert. He switches, and he's very good at being in the right spot. I think sometimes we judge big guys as defenders by do they block a lot of shots, but he gets a lot of steals for a big guy. Gets deflections. I think if you charted, and I know Indiana does. Both these teams chart everything. But Oladipo's far and away the best at getting deflections. But I would guess that Zeller's second. I would say he's right there. I mean, he's not right with Oladipo, but he's second on the team, I would guess. It's awesome. I mean, this place is special, and it's got a unique character. And when the teams are this good, I mean, I don't think you have to spend a lot of time explaining why this game is important. People can feel why it's important. You've got two. Indiana is one of the great brands in sports, Indiana basketball, and the candy stripe pants and the whole thing, the banners. It's one of the great brands in sports, And so when you're back here, when there's this level of excitement, and this is not just a great Big Ten game. Everybody wants to see this game. It's a game everybody wants to watch, and it's not just because, hey, this is the best matchup in the Big Ten, or it's 1 versus 3. It's two teams and two programs that matter. They're both going to be there at the end if they stay healthy. But this game is important for the here and now, and that's a good thing for. It's a good thing for the Big Ten. It's a really good thing for college basketball, I think.